Job market's so cooked. I'm starting to think maybe I should just pursue my dreams instead. What's the worst that can happen? I'm unemployed. பிரச்சனை என்னன்னா என் கனவு என்னன்னு எனக்கே தெரியாது.
I don't even know what my dreams are.
Job market's so cooked. I'm sorry.
I think that is one of the most honest career confessions I've heard in a while, because we usually assume that we know our dreams, but the reality is quite different. One of the worst career advices I've heard is to follow your dreams. I think this is one of the most terrible advice for multiple reasons. Most of us, myself included, we don't really know what our dreams are. Sometimes we think that we want A, but underneath there is something else that we want entirely. So my dream was to be someone who would be giving tours of a food factory, like you would see on a food tech show on History TV. And I also built a YouTube channel called Food Tech Simplified. I spent 5 years getting a food technology dual degree, BTech and MTech, but then my identity outgrew my dream. And this is what I have figured out since then. And this is what I also tell a lot of ambitious professionals in 20s and the 30s. You do not follow your dreams. You collect data points, you conduct experimentations in the real world, and then you build your dreams on the basis of the data points you have collected. And in this video, I'm going to give you that what kind of data points these are, what do they look like in real life, and how do you actually start collecting them. So a little sneak peek about my story. When I was a kid, I used to binge the Food Factory or the Food Tech Show on History TV. And I was really fascinated about the science and the technology that goes beyond processing food. And I was so fascinated by it, eventually I opted to pursue food processing technology. I did an integrated dual degree, that is BTech and MTech in food processing technology from a university. In my pre-final year, I also started a YouTube channel around food technology. And I started talking about food technology as well, because I was so fascinated by, the technology and the science behind it. But the thing is that my identity kind of outgrew the passion around food technology or the food science. And that's the thing about the advice with follow your dreams. It kind of fails everyone for majorly 3 reasons. Number one reason is that a lot of people do not even have a clear dream yet, which what this lady has just told in the reel, right? Even though that is a sarcasm, but then that also has a factor of relatability, right? That is why it has went viral. A lot of people don't really have a clear dream yet, and we haven't been really taught how to identify what kind of dreams do we have, or how do you really identify where do you want to go in your career. The second reason why follow your dreams kind of fails as a career advice is that your dreams evolve as you evolve. So for me, if you met me about 5-7 years ago, I would be talking about food technology left, right, and center. But right now I'm talking about completely different things. There is a common thread amongst all of the things that I have done in the last 7 to 8 years. But the thing is that you evolve as a person. If you are in your 30s and if I ask you your dream, and if I ask you what was your dream 10 years back when you were 20, there would be a contrast. There would be some differences at least. A lot of the teenagers, a lot of people in their 15s, 16s, and 18s, they say that they want to be billionaires. And that's great. If they have this ambitious dream, that is amazing. The thing is that when you are so young, you really haven't had any kind of real encounter with the world. You haven't really tested out any kind of ideas. You haven't really sold anything. So as soon as you enter, the college, and you enter the real world where you have to get a job or, build a business, get a side hustle, or, get some clients for your freelance gig, then you start encountering problems. Then you start encountering obstacles, and you realize that it's actually, making money maybe not that easy as I was thinking when I was 15. So then maybe you have to kind of readjust your goals, or make them more modest, or make them more realistic and not so ambitious, which is probably a different topic that we can talk about. But as you evolve, your identity evolves, you grow up, you become more mature, and probably your dreams are also going to mature. And that is why follow your dreams is a terrible advice, because your dreams are not really static. And the third reason is that as soon as you achieve your dream or achieve the goal that you have, maybe it was about, buying a house, or about a car, about a particular job, or starting a business, or raising funds for your startup or your nonprofit, whatever your dream was, the thing is that as soon as you achieve it, you start feeling empty. And as a human, then you start craving something else, which is the nature of humans. But that also begs the question that what is the point of all of this? What is the point of all of this hustle? So all in all, basically, the follow your dreams as advice is a terrible advice. And the new advice that I want to give you, or a new recommendation that I want to give you, is to build your dreams rather. So let me give you one example from my journey, right? When I was pursuing food technology and then I started a YouTube channel, I was doing content. My first job was around handling a YouTube channel for FSSAI. And what I started noticing is that I was more energized by resolving problems of the students or the graduates or my colleagues who were stuck in very specific situations, who were probably not getting the visibility that they wanted, who were stuck in a situation where they wanted to build a personal brand, but then they did not really know how to do it. When they were stuck on how do I really build a resume. And I could see that there are some threads when I was talking about food technology, when I was doing this job at FSSAI, is that I was really energized by the idea of resolving problems around careers. And that did not seem very tangible or very feasible. That still does not seem very feasible or very tangible to me right now, to be very honest. But I thought, okay, let us park this, but let me focus on something that actually makes me money, because I wanted to get to a stage where I'm earning the bread for my family. So eventually what I realized is that my strengths are more in content and communications and lesser in food technology. Even though I was gold medalist in my university, and I don't want to brag, I was genuinely, every semester, every year I was the topper of my batch. But even then, even when I was the topper, even when I was so infatuated, even when I was so passionate about food science and technology, I outgrew, the love of food science and technology. And the thing is, I realized that I want to get into content and communications. So I did some freelancing. I did some particular jobs which revolved around content. And my current job is also around content and communications. But even now, there is a thread, or there is an underlying thread that kind of energizes me, which is centered around taking some complex concepts and making it tangible for an audience, for a specific audience, which I also do at my job, at my current job. Now, there are multiple layers to it. So one layer is, of course, taking some complex ideas and making them tangible, making them digestible. Now, that is one layer that I have. That is one thread that I notice that I really derive energy from this. One thread or one layer where I derive energy is really resolving the problems of graduates or, students. So when I started this channel and I started giving career clarity calls or coaching calls, this is where I kind of combined two aspects of my identity that kind of energized me. So one layer was, of course, that I can break down concepts around career, or perhaps give a different perspective. I could react to reels like these and then give my own perspective on that. And then I can resolve the problems that, graduates or professionals, mid-career professionals are having in their particular career, because a lot of the career advice out there is basically derived from Western identities or Western influencers, and it probably doesn't really translate to Indian context or Southeast Asian context. Not Southeast Asian, South Asian context. So one data point that you have to constantly capture is that what are the activities, not consumption activity, not like consuming reels or videos. What are the activities that you are doing or participating in? Or what are some of the things that you are building, kind of the problems that you are resolving? What are those things that are giving you energy, that you are deriving energy from? Maybe you are doing that unconsciously. Maybe people are coming to you asking for your help, but maybe you have that knowledge bias. Maybe you are thinking that, hey, actually, you know what, this is a very obvious thing and I can actually resolve it for free, but people might be willing to pay you money for that. So that is a very big indicator, a significant indicator that this is where you can actually build your dream. One side point that I kind of want to give is that when people start building their dreams, they are going to encounter obstacles. It's pretty natural. It's by design that you are going to encounter a lot of obstacles. So I kind of go back to the recent example of Samir Raina. He's a stand-up comedian, if you are not aware. And about a year ago, he was surrounded by controversies. His show was pulled down. FIR, I think he had 3 FIRs against him, and his editor was arrested. His mental health was shattered. But then he came back stronger. In the last 10 or 12 days, he's still alive. Stand-up. It's not stand-up. He's sitting down, but it has about 50 million views. And he also sold out at Madison Square Garden, I believe, last year. So the thing is that no one really handed him out that, hey, this is your career path and this is what you have to do. He kind of had to figure it out on your own, and then the bigger his dreams, the bigger his obstacles were that he had to overcome. Now, whether you hate or you love Samir Raina, that is irrelevant. The point I'm trying to make is that the dreams that you want to build, they demand you to overcome the obstacles. They demand you to rise up to a specific level where you can crush the obstacles that you are facing. Now, in food technology, there is a process called Maillard reaction. And in the Maillard reaction, so there are some specific food products that you might have seen, like bread, roasted coffee, cakes, or anything that has that crusty brown layer. So let me take the example of a grilled sandwich. So when you are eating that grilled sandwich, you see that crusty layer on the bread, right? And that is because of the Maillard reaction. That is because the amino acids and the sugars have reacted in such a way under heat and under some pressure that it allowed to form that beautiful golden crusty brown layer that gives that specific aroma. So that is also responsible for the roasted flavor in coffee beans. And that is the key. The Maillard reaction basically is going to happen under very specific conditions. It's going to require heat. It's probably going to require some pressure. So the point that I'm trying to make is that whenever you are trying to build your dreams, it's going to require some kind of heat. And when people are faced, especially the Gen Zs, whenever they are faced with obstacles, they think that this is probably not worth pursuing because this is really icky. This is really making me nervous. This is really making me anxious. I've never really faced it before. And then they drop it altogether. But what they don't realize is that the obstacle is part of the journey. The obstacle is part of building that particular dream. So what I would like you to reconsider or provide you a reframe is that discomfort is part of the journey. And if you are facing that discomfort, if you are facing that, okay, this is really tough to do, I'm not really able to figure it out. And if you are able to overcome that, you will realize that it was actually not that bad. You're probably avoiding the feeling of feeling discomfort. So rather than waiting to feel ready or waiting that everything is going to be comfortable in your particular dream or your particular journey, start doing the work and start facing those obstacles. If you are working for yourself, that's great. If you are working for someone else, that is great. But start facing these obstacles, and these obstacles are going to reveal a lot about your identity rather than just reading books or just consuming videos like these. Now, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I'm going to give you some data points that you can recognize and then analyze them. So what are these data points? So number one data point that you have to track is that what are the activities that made you lose track of time? Not the Reels consumption, not the YouTube videos consumption that made you lose track of time. What were you doing? What were you producing? What were you creating when you lost track of time? Take note of these. The second data point is that what did someone compliment you on that felt effortless to you? Now, this is a huge marker that if something is feeling effortless to you and other people are also complimenting you, they are giving you positive feedback about it, then it means that there might be something worth exploring in that particular direction. And the third data point is that what problem would you solve for free? And these three data points, if you collect them week on week, you will start seeing a thread in your particular identity, because I believe that every identity or every person is naturally inclined to solve particular problems. They could be very well problems that you want to solve for yourself, for your family, or they could be problems that you want to solve for others. Sometimes, so for me, whenever I'm seeing very terrible career advice, so inside I get this urge to just go to that particular stage or go and take that mic and say that, hey, this is wrong. What are you saying? Follow your passion or building your dreams. That is the worst, terrible advice, terrible career advice. So that's one layer of my identity. Other layer of my identity is that whenever I see slide decks which are not properly designed, they really give me they really make me very, very angry and frustrated. Could you just please learn how to design your slides? And probably that is a me thing. So you probably have a certain architecture where you are inclined to feel agitated or frustrated whenever you see certain problems. Now, these could be very well huge, massive problems like Delhi ka IQI. I am so frustrated by you looking at Delhi ka IQI. Maybe you do not have anything in your control to solve it, but there are always some kind of action points that you can take. Because I believe that's, whenever you are losing track of your time, that is a very basic thing. But whenever you are attracted to solve a problem, or whenever you are feeling agitated, whenever you are feeling jealous of someone, these are also very interesting markers that you can track and go down that particular rabbit hole. Now, if you have come this far in this video, I want to give you a free tool. So you have watched this video and now you are thinking that, okay, I understand that these are the data points, but how do I know what these data points mean? How do I really interpret where I'm going or where I'm confused? So it's possible that you are feeling overwhelmed. You are ambitious, you are an overthinker, maybe you are switching lanes every now and then, maybe you have shiny object syndrome, maybe you have imposter syndrome. So how do you really decode that, and how do you really take action according to your archetype? So what I've done over the last couple of weeks, I have built a free diagnostic tool. I call it Career Design Code GPT. It is going to ask you a few questions, and based on the answers that you provide, it's going to map your identity to an archetype. It is going to give you some of the traps that you have to avoid, and it is going to give you a 90-day customized plan according to your archetype, so that you can follow that 90-day plan and then get out of your particular situation. It's going to take 5 minutes. I have done the preliminary testing and people have told me that it is one of the clearest diagnostic tools that they have taken. It literally takes 5 minutes and it's free. So go down in the description, check it out. And I will see you next time. Class dismissed.